Hello again, this is Chad the Gaming Dad here on Dad's Games. So, have you ever been playing the original Doom and thought to yourself, this is pretty cool, but it really needs some more zombies, demons, and hooded cultists speaking in tongues? Well, if you ever thought that, I've got the game for you. It's Blood. In Blood, you are chasing after a very cheesy demon who stole your girlfriend. So yeah, you know, who needs a story, right? So we take a look at Blood here. This game is one of the first games that was ever released and produced by Monolith Productions. Monolith Productions released this game in 1997, and since then, you know them from games that are more recent, like the Fear games, Fear 1 and 2, also Condemned 1 and 2, and most recently Shadow of Mordor. So just think, a lot of the new games that we're playing today started way back in 1997 with Blood.
I need a key.
So you have to remember, this was during the time after Doom. Doom had come out in 93, Quake came out in 96, and so did Duke Nukem 3D. And then this game came out in 97. This game and Duke Nukem 3D were both published by GT Interactive, and they actually both are using the same engine. It's called the Build engine. So if you play this game, you'll notice that a lot of it actually is very similar to Duke Nukem 3D as far as how it plays and how some of the special effects and graphics look. But enough about all that. Let's talk about the gameplay. This game was very shocking and violent for its time. There was burning undead, exploding body parts, and of course, potted flower destruction. In this game, you can even use their heads to kick them around like soccer balls. So like I said, this game follows very closely in the footsteps of the other popular first-person shooter games of the time. You know, Doom, Quake, and Duke Nukem 3D. But at least this one had a different setting. But a lot of it was also the same. You start off by choosing from multiple different episodes with spooky names like The Way of All Flesh and Even Death May Die. And then of course they have multiple difficulties with the ever so clever names like Pink on the Inside and Extra Crispy. You begin the first episode with only your pitchfork, and you begin poking at your enemies, but soon after you find a flare gun, which is awesome. It's kind of like firing Roman candles at your friends. It only takes one shot from the flare. You hit the enemies and it gets lodged in their body, and soon after, it engulfs them in flames. I really like when you get the cultists to catch on fire. You know, you get their robe to start burning or whatever, and then right before they fall down and crumble, you get to see the skeleton underneath pop out. That's a pretty cool touch. Later on in the game, though, they do get revenge on you with the fire-breathing hell dogs. But remember, stop, drop, and roll from when you were a kid, that works here too, except in this game it's just crouch and walk to put yourself out. So like I said, you start off with the pitchfork and then you get the flare gun, but the weapon pickups just keep getting better. There's sticks of dynamite, shotguns, machine guns, and even spray bottles. These spray bottles are not healing aid type spray bottles like in Resident Evil. These are used with the lighter to make a blowtorch. That's right, kids. Do not try this at home. Our hero here in the game even has a similar attitude to Duke Nukem. I mean, listen to some of these little one-liners he's got.
Open for business. You're going to need a bigger boat. I'm gonna paint the town red. I'm the guy with a gun. Yeah, single white female.
So the gameplay here is fun, but it gets kind of repetitive, and it's very similar to these other games that we keep talking about. And like I said, the visuals are unique. and at least different in this style of game. There really isn't too many other games like Blood from back in the day.
Take it, please.
And when you first start playing this game, I recommend that you go into the settings and set up your own key bindings, because the default setting is almost unplayable. I have never really seen the setting that they have as the default anywhere else, and it's probably because it isn't a very good way to do things. You're going to want to set up your keys, and then also once you start playing, make sure that you hit the U key, the letter U, and that turns on mouse look so that you can actually look up and down and aim with your mouse, which is a pretty cool thing for one of these old first-person shooters, because most of them just had the gun right in the middle and you couldn't aim up and down. So at least it's got that going for it. The other real problem that I see that Blood has is that I think that the gimmick of this game, it even ran kind of thin with the developers when they were making this, because the first 2 or 3 episodes, they each have a different setting, and it's pretty fun because you move from one to the next and there's a progression. But after that, everything kind of just gets stale. There isn't a lot of differences. In the first episode, you're in the graveyard and you're going through the building and all of that. The second episode, it's more of a water level. You start off on a boat. I mean, can you say evil demon fish? Then you get into the third episode where you're basically inside a city setting, and honestly, that one's not that exciting to me. Plus, it has this really annoying jumping section where you have to jump back and forth from building to building, and just one bad jump and you fall all the way down. You have to start over. Old first-person shooter games from the 90s is nowhere to have a platforming section. Trust me. So then when you get into the final couple of episodes, they really don't have a whole lot that you haven't already seen in the previous episodes. It's kind of like the developers either ran out of ideas or got tired of making this thing and just wanted to finish it. For whatever reason, it kind of drags on for the player. Another annoying thing about Blood is the fact that it does not seem to have any autosave. Now, you can manually save the game wherever you want, but if you forget to do that and you get killed, you go back either to the entire beginning of that level or to the last time you saved. It's not going to save at all for you as you go. Just another way that they used to make those games of the past kind of last a little bit longer and increase the difficulty, I guess. So Blood, it's a pretty good game, but it's not great. You know, if you like the old 90s first-person shooter games like Doom and Duke Nukem, you're going to have some fun with this one. But after the nostalgia wears off, the game does feel a little bit shallow, and it's fun for short sessions here and there, but not for a whole lot more than that. This is one of those games that would be really fun to get on a sale or something when it's going for about like $2. Regular price is $5, so wait for the sale, it'll probably be $2. But if you're looking to try an old game that gives you some of what you're used to in today's modern shooters, you're probably going to absolutely hate this game. This game is in every way a retro PC shooter. Overall, I kind of like this game though, just for one reason alone. It is unique. There's not a lot of other games like this. I mean, even with all its flaws and everything, how can you deny the fact that this thing's pretty cool when you can get killed by a disembodied hand that jumps up and chokes you, and the screen gets darker and darker and darker until finally you pass out? Hey, come on. You gotta give them something for that. So anyway, till next time, remember, you never outgrow video games. My name's Chad the Gaming Dad, and this is Dad's Games. Thank you for watching, and so long, everybody.